Welcome back to the Servag podcast, guys. I don't know what episode this is. Back on I got to do this every week, and that's why I'm doing it. So if you hear me, a little rambling and not too composed, that's why. But we're doing it. We're recording. And this week we have employee 001 of Atlas Media Solutions, excluding myself and my wife and Addie. But Michael's really the only one who actually works a full-time job because I work double a full-time job. So how's it going?
Oh, it's going. It's been a great morning so far and just been a great day. So, yeah.
Okay, so tell me who you are, what your background is, like what's your involvement in agriculture, why do you care about it at all, what you used to do for work, where you went to school, things like that. Just give me like your life story.
Yep. Yeah. So, I grew up in northern Utah, a little valley called Cache Valley, Utah. I grew up on a dairy farm where it was a small one with about 200 to 300 cows total, is what we had. And we had about 500 to about 700, depending on how much we were able to rent out acres that we'd run in grain, corn, and alfalfa. So that's where I grew up doing early morning milking cows and whatnot. And then I ended up working for a robotics company that kind of did auto guidance for tractors and other big equipment. Uh, from there, I went to school. I went to Idaho school and I got my business degree. From there, I ended up seeing this job from a buddy. Said that I would probably be pretty good at it because I love photography and being able to be out in the industry and then out in the fields. And I used to take a lot of photos, whether it was drones or just still. And so I applied for Clayton, offered me this, and I was able to join him. Besides that, I've always had a passion for agriculture and being in that field and being out to get out in the country and just enjoy the beautiful nature that there is.
Is your family still farming dairy? What do they do now? You guys still in it or no, out of it?
So we're out of the dairy. We still own probably about half the acreage that we do, but it wasn't economical for us
Mm-hmm.
to continue to do. So about 10 years ago, we ended up getting out of the dairy. And then for about 5 years after, we kept farming the ground until we had a good neighbor of ours ended up just running the rest of our ground. So that's where it's at. So, yeah.
Nice. So you're in northeast Utah, correct? Like, or yeah, northeastern
Yes.
Utah. What's like the
Yeah.
farm demographic around where you are? Like, what are the main? I'm in corn and soybean country. A couple people have
Yep.
cows. You might see a dairy like once in a blue moon or a feedlot once in a blue moon, but other than that, it's corn.
Yeah.
Lots of corn and soybeans.
Yeah. So a lot, at least around me, a lot of it is alfalfa and grain. When you get more north, there are a few potato farms right on the Idaho border, which is only like 30 minutes away from me. And then there are a few large dairies sprinkled around in the valley still. And then there's just a couple hog farms and stuff like that. So it's a good mix. But I think the main would be your alfalfa and grain crops here. And then we have tons of BLM ground or Forest Service ground around us where we have a lot of open range ranches as well. It's sprinkled up in the mountains. So yeah.
That's pretty sweet. So, you went to school for business. You worked for a robotics company.
Yep.
What did that look like?
Yep. So that was very interesting. So the main thing I had, which was super nice, and they were so nice to work with the robotics company, is they were allowed me to take school as I was doing it. But there, I did a lot of support for them. So I went out on site and helped um, work on GPS guidance and other pieces of equipment that needed help, or trying to think how the best way to explain it. Basically, I was there in case anything went wrong. and then I was tasked to resolve it basically. And I wasn't the smart guy. I was the guy in between working with like the engineers to figure out problems
Mm-hmm.
that came up. So, um, yeah, I worked there for about 10 years. I did inventory and then eventually went into support because I had some background in some of the things that they were operating in with the farming industry. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of why I got led into helping out in that area.
Got it.
Yeah.
Nice. And so, what made you want to get back into photo video? I know you're a photographer. You did some drone stuff.
Yeah.
Um, totally honest, guys. When Michael applied, I actually think it took me about a month and a half to get back to him because it was in like the middle of harvest, and I was trying to hire someone, but I didn't actually have the time to like be interviewing people the way they need to be interviewed
Hmm.
and actually talking to them. So I had like a inbox full of applications that just took me way too long to get through. I'm trying to be better about it the next time around because, you know, by the time I actually was starting to talk to people, like, oh, I actually already got another job. But Michael is still open and he was still willing, and he's the only one who made it through
Yeah.
more than one interview. And so, but like, what like pushed you
Yeah.
back into the photo video stuff?
So I've always wanted to get back into doing stuff like that. Before this, years ago, me and my dad used to do like aerial photography. He ended up getting a RC helicopter, one of these large ones with a DLSR, and we used to go out and take photos with. He passed away a few years ago, so I kind of got out of it. I still had a drone to kind of do stuff on my own for my own personal thing, but I always had that kind of like want to be able to go out and take photos or even videos of different things that kind of pursue talent I kind of have and kind of progress that. So that's kind of why I wanted to get back in, and it kind of just led me to Clayton. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, you're gonna. So we're recording this in the end of January. So it's currently our slowest time of year. January and February are our slowest time of year. But already we're looking like in 2 weeks, Michael's gonna fly out here to Iowa, and I'm gonna pick him up, and we're gonna go to the North American Farm Machine Show. And then after that, he gets married. So I'll have you talk more about that in a second. But
yep,
then after that, it's just like on the ground shooting until probably mid June is where it'll slow down again for a month or two, and then it'll ramp back up come harvest. But yeah, like what do you do outside of work? Other than you grew up on a dairy farm, you worked for a robotics company, and now you
yep,
work for me. What do you do
yep.
outside of all those things?
Besides taking care of like the homestead that we still have, so we still have all of like the farm buildings and stuff, and I kind of been responsibility to take care of those, keep everything mowed down or whatnot. But besides that, I love being out in the mountains. I tend to go snowmobiling all the time out here. I go I have several motorcycles, so I'll go up in the mountains, ride motorcycles, or take a cruise up to Bear Lake and go have lunch over there with buddies. So there's just a ton of stuff outside that I love to do,
Mm-hmm.
and just being out in the mountains is such a fun activity out here.
And the area you live is just like ripe for outdoor activities.
I literally any direction I go, I'll be up in the mountains in like 10, 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I live like smack down in the valley that we are at, so any mountain I can go. Besides that, hunting's a big thing. Both my brothers are big hunters, so I will go out, hunt with them ducks, pheasants, big game, whatever it may be. So yeah, hopefully get some done that this fall, depending on how it goes.
Yeah, I'm hoping harvest wraps up a little earlier this year, so that way, because I want to go out hunting a lot this fall, because I never do anything
Yeah,
fun. I told myself this is the year I'm actually going to go out hunting, because I haven't really regularly gone out with anyone since I lived in Montana, which was years ago. And so I'm
yeah,
like, all right, I gotta go do something to be outside. That's not just work.
yeah,
That's awesome. You're getting married in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something
yep,
like that. So
yep.
yeah, excited about that.
Yeah, that is very exciting. I don't know what to say about that. That it's almost surreal. I don't even feel like a month away, and it doesn't even feel like that's gonna happen. Like that feeling hasn't set in that I'm getting married in a month.
Yeah.
So that's what it feels like.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you. I'm a year and a half out from my wedding. The week before will be a lot of fun because you'll be like, oh, right. All those things that I thought I had figured out, now I actually have to make sure I get done. And yeah, so uh, have fun with that. The week before is way busier than it feels like it should be. And then you're going to forget your whole wedding day. And then you're like, oh, wow, we're married now. This is awesome. So have fun. So I'm trying to keep him at least semi stably home at some point. You know, the whole reason I hired another person was like I was on the road too much, and so now Michael's getting married, and so now we're like, okay, I got to make sure he's not gone too often because you know it is hard being away from your wife as much as I was last year, and you'll start to experience that at some point. So, all stuff we're trying to figure out. Um, for those of you who don't know, Michael is kind of, I guess we'll just say like videographer, video editor 001 for now, and also anything else I need help with because at this, we're a small company. We don't have a billion people that I can just say, this is your job, this is your job, this is your job. Michael's primary job is video photo work. His secondary job is just probably trying to, stay sane, for, at least on one side of the business because I'm not sane. But yeah, like what gets you excited about like the job and like being able to, be doing photo video as your career now instead of just like as a hobby?
One of the things I love doing is just that ability to do it day in and day out, basically. Instead of just like, oh, I have time now. Now it's like, oh, I can do it all the time. And that's one of the exciting things about doing it is that not only is it's like, oh, I have to make time after work and take personal time. Now it's, oh, I can just do it because this is my job and I get to pick. I basically get a video stuff I love to take videos of, and that's exciting because it makes it a little more easier for me to go out and do that stuff, especially for a career.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Well, you'll see some cool stuff. It'll be a cool year. I'm
yeah,
excited. So, anyways, we won't keep you guys too long because Michael and I both have jobs to do. Um, but yeah, like the idea that like now that you like now hopefully we're moving into an age where documenting agriculture cannot just be like a fun hobby, which is what most of the people are on the internet. It's like it's kind of their side
hmm
hobby, a little side income. As the company grows, we're hoping to bring more people on whose full-time job can be to help capture and document this industry as a whole. And Michael is basically super pivotal in the role of that, just because hire number one is so important to like, hey, what the heck are we going to do going forward as a business? So Michael already you're 3 weeks in, and he's already basically up to speed on all the things he needs to know, and he's making reels that are probably better than what I'm putting out right now, and so I'm pretty psyched about. And he's starting to edit YouTube videos, which is going to mean it's just like it's a win for agriculture as a whole that now it's not just me traveling around the country. Now it's also Michael traveling around the country, as well as,
yeah,
like his expertise and his knowledge that I don't have. Michael won't talk about this in podcasts. He has a master's in business development and entrepreneurship, which he like told me like after we had our like second interview. And I was like, what? Like, you didn't lead with that? I was like, that's super valuable to me. And so, anyways, Michael is already a huge asset to this business, and we're super excited to have him on. I know my wife is personally excited that hopefully, I can start migrating more of the things off my to-do list to other people's to-do lists so that way I'm not working 60, 70 hours a week. And then, hopefully we're a little more efficient. I'm more fun to be around. We get more done. And so it's just like, I can't say what a big win it is to have someone more than just myself doing all this now. And there's no better employee that I could have hired other than Michael, because Michael is like setting the pace for everyone else who's going to come after him and like trying to learn things and trying to do things well. So, anyways, Michael, I'm a huge fan. And I'm not just saying
oh,
that because I'm
thank
your
you.
boss. It's just like you're doing great. So we're excited. It's going to be fun.
I hope I.
He'll come on again at some point, probably after he's a little more. He's got some battle scars from spring planting. It'll be fun. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, you're coming out here in 2 weeks, week and a half, and then
Yeah,
after that you get
I'm
married.
excited about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you get to be trapped in a car for 7.5 hours, and then
Yeah.
go to the Farm Machine show. That'll be fun. That's a fun farm show. So if you guys are at the Farm Machine show, come find us. We'll be walking around. Neil will be down there too. I'm trying to think. Probably got a couple things going on. And then spring's around the corner. I got another project that unfortunately it's the week Michael gets married, so he can't come on. Coming up in a few weeks. But after that, I mean, I'm trying to think where you're gonna go next. I'm looking at my calendar on the wall here, guys. You get married that week. Yeah, probably you'll come out to Kentucky again. You'll probably be out in Kentucky with me again at some point. So we'll see. But anyway, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for chatting for a quick 15 minutes, Michael. If you guys want to follow Michael on Instagram, you can. Or you can just follow me. Probably just follow the business page because a lot of his stuff will probably end up going on there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for coming on. Thank you for being employee number one. I cannot tell you guys how nice it is to have someone else to work with now. Working in your office by yourself all day is super boring. So now I can at least call Michael for 45 minutes so we can talk about things because, yeah, I just like to talk. So thanks for listening, guys. Thanks, Michael. See you guys next week.